Rotated all that way around just to realize the door was closed, and he didn't really have an avenue to get into the vents to actually help clear it in any way. And even if he did, even if it was open, Mr. was waiting right behind it. So 20 seconds, 1v3. He's at least forced Mr. back, and Burst Fire is going to miss its mark. And that's all she wrote.
Yep, he wanted to get that last bit of damage in, thinking he did more than he actually had when he fell down. And now it's double pistol for Astralis. So the hard way for NIP, but they still have a 10-6 lead. That sucks. You go right, I'll go left. Oh, God.
Yeah, or just step right in front of me. Like I said, just establishing dominance. That was all according to plan. You know, first pissed around of the first official with the new lineup, like, you got to let him know early. You don't want those issues to crop back up.
Not only that, I mean, Blamef's so good at baiting that he baited the other team into killing themselves.
Yes, fair point. Inventing new styles of getting it done.
Yeah, well, it worked. They've got, like I say, both pistols in this game now. They went 3-0 off the first one. They'll see if they can do the same this time. Blade forced out by the smoke, though. So a bomb plant looking likely, which might mean we go to an early buy if NIP can get the bomb down, because there's a lot of fire and flames on top of the site. Nice nade back from Brolin. That makes things a bit worse for them up above, and Xyp9x knows that bomb's being planted but can't overcommit on the peak, so Rez gets it down.
Ooh, Xyp9x up above the ladder. Blave's gonna start peeking into the bomb site. Astralis need this. Here comes the utility for the retake. What a late lurk from Hampus, though. This can be so impactful. A Xyp9x, he's gonna get both, and now that makes it very difficult for Hampus to save the day. And in fact, Xyp9x knows exactly what's coming.
Hampus on 6, so they'll defuse this, no problem. Hampus just trying to fight valiantly and do further damage, but unfortunately he's gone. So, look, job done. They got a bomb plant. That had to be the goal for this. They can now get an earlier buy in the half, although they're not in a great situation, so you need to debate if you want to force this much, or maybe you just, well, okay, they're going to call it text.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I thought it was going to be tactical when I saw the timeout come in, but it's a text. So, yeah, but they could force bind this, but they've also still got a lead that they may not want to give up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the right way to approach it as well. I think maybe if you get 1 or 2 more players, you can justify that a little bit more, but especially considering there's 3 kills on the SMG from Xyp9x. He's got plenty of money to drop rifles over. Yeah, you just don't, between not getting enough kills and all the bonus money from the SMGs, I think NIP's gonna have to sit this round out. Maybe descend down to light armor and pistols again. 3-round lead, and we just got word, Hampus saying PC just restarted.
Oh, that's lovely. It just randomly decides to do its thing.
Yeah, you love Windows for that.
I was going to say, Windows updates, just coming through strong.
Exactly. It's always a crapshoot, isn't it?
It's still, I've mentioned this on broadcast before, so for the OG listeners, apologies, but it's one of my favorite memes when it's like the Windows users get an update and they're like, God damn it. And then Linux is like, ooh, yeah, more stuff to play with. And then Mac users are like, oh, it's only $49. Heck yeah.
Yeah. I've always had this like secret desire to be a Linux user, but I've never had the patience to actually get into it.
My brother's a hardcore Linux user.
It's probably easy as hell, and I've just been lazy. B-Stream update, you can see on the screen. Everyone's favorite World 2K, Outsiders getting their Road to Rio campaign underway.
Yep. The interesting thing about... well, it's not that interesting, I guess, but do you remember with the server browser going aggressive on our secondary stream? So Monty versus Outsiders. And, yeah. Monty
Outsiders looked pretty cool. I think they're still like I mean...
That was a lineup that nearly worked. Did you imagine he sprayed down all 3 right there?
Yeah, that would have been cool. I think Outsiders is a pretty dangerous lineup. I think that's still a team you got to worry about.
Absolutely.
I think they're one of those teams where I think like their play style is a little bit like rough at times as a spectator.
I mean, they were a major finalist. Let's not forget, if you take the core of that lineup and go way back to Berlin, right? I mean, they've got experience.
Yeah, Kicker and James
there. Yep. And there's no question, like, yeah, they can. You put them in a major, in a group stage, in any of those environments, and they can absolutely upset people and cause some damage.
Yeah.
Another team that we never really got a full read on with the online era, I think.
Yeah, probably. Well, we got a good feel when Yukinder was on the team. He was I remember. I mean, that was the talk of the town early on in 2020 was Yukinder and how effective he was. That was his breakout performance.
You saw an interesting storyline yesterday, by the way.
What's that?
Well, that TSM might be back in Counter-Strike.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. Interesting. Going for a European team, which...
Not surprising.
Yeah. At this point, for sure. Good luck. Have fun.
Thought they might try and buy one of EG's lineups, but... Apparently they're not for sale just yet.
Players for sale over there. 3-round lead as we get back into the action. Tech-9's being picked up, Deagle on Hampus as well. So yeah, descending to some upgraded pistols, but trying to spend not a whole lot of money.
Jumping. Oh, caught. Farlig. Aggressive. Just shuts down S-Tag midair. No further action from him on that one. Couldn't get a shot off, even as Brolin waits outside of the hut for a chance to potentially pop through. He's the only one that's in that position right now, as the rest are just setting up, see if there'll be any responses, and maybe another bomb plant play out of this. Looking like they're going to take some utility upstairs. Take that back. As soon as I say it, they shuffle that to outside. So they didn't go for the earlier buy with that bomb plant down. Just some upgraded pistols, bit of armor. And so far, well, I should say nothing to report from it. Brolin hits a lovely shot on the blame up. Now they can try and run forward to get that gun. Need an additional smoke to do it. Nope, not even going to go for it. They're going to commit to the plan. Just get downstairs. And they go.
Yeah.
Glaive is the one that waits. Damage onto Hampus, but that's all.
Nice and quick. Glaive going to tuck himself into the back of the bomb site. A lot of pressure being applied, though. Alexi stepped up in this scenario previously. Xipix again with the SMG going to chime in. He's the only one left, and oh, he almost lined him up. SMG going to work. Brolin drops him as well, and into a 2-on-2 we go.
Trying the door, Brolin, just to give himself some more space. A little bit more of a trigger to try and work with. He knows he's going to be surrounded on this. Tries to wait it out with the M4. Now, he had the body armor, not the head armor, but he didn't have the HP to withstand it either way. So that one was a sitting shot for Farlig. Rez trying to get over to the Tech-9 instead. A couple of taps. Headshot from that range could have been problematic for Astralis, but we go 10-8. So again, they go 3-0 off the pistol. Now the guns come out.
Now the guns come out. Now we get to see what Astralis' defense is going to be made of. We also get to, I mean, obviously the first glimpse also of the Alexi captainship of NIP on the T side. We saw it on the CT side. He was very, very good individually. Let's see what he's got here to close this one out. NIP needs 6 rounds in regulation to get it done. 10-8. No op out yet for Astralis. There is an AWP in the hands of Rez.
Blame blind, has to sit back at the main entrance. Alexi trying to find some damage with spam through the hut. And upstairs they go. We are going to have, as you say, that op on Rez right away.
No presence outside yet for NIP. Campus is close up to the boxes. Give up lobby control as well. They had some presence there just to make sure there were no pushes, but now a lot of players heading outside with the smoke wall being set up.
Xipix trying to act off the initial exchange from his teammate. Glaive inside of the main entrance, that smoke down. If they wrap too quickly, if they don't counter his position, he's going to be perfectly suited. Lovely shot from Brolin to get Xipix back. Gun barrel shows Glaive. He was too slow to act. Alexi B finds it. It's back to a 3-on-3 with Blame F already revealing his position outside as well.
Mr. still waiting in the upper bomb site. Alexi and Hampus going to go challenge towards Blame F. He's got a job to do as he climbs the ladder. I don't know if he was spotted. Oh no, Hampus isn't seeing it. Never spotted the head, so not looking upwards. And Blame F has now tucked his head down.
He will now.
Yeah, he will. He's got him right through the base, right through the flooring. And a flashbang to pop the upper sight. Here goes Alexi.
So the wrap is the first call we see. Taps. Couldn't hit it. Oh no. Gone down. Farlig has bomb though.
Time.
14 seconds. He's going to flash in and try and rotate around this. Alexi, he doesn't know where he's gone. The fact that he's walked silently over toward the hut means they have to cross him again. He knows they have to go to the site. He's going to hold. He's going to spray. He's going to get both. It's 10-9.
What a phenomenal play from Farlig. The reposition is everything. And oh man, the plant's in the corner. He knew exactly where it had to be. They didn't want to risk crossing that gap. And a nice double kill. A 1v3 victory for Farlig.
And we got another technical timeout. Brolin this time has PC issues, but that will give them time to reflect mentally, no less, because they won't be allowed to chat about this. That was a great reposition.
Yep, it was beautiful. And I mean, they had to have known that was probably where he was going to go. It's just hard to deal with. Good job from Farlig. Got to be impressed by that one. 1v2. And this will be frustrating as well. Another PC situation. They're just going to swap the whole thing out.
Yeah, no, not going to risk that one happening.
Fool me once. Shame on you, all that jazz.
Yeah, I knew where you were going with it. I just didn't care.
I didn't really feel like completing it either.
Yeah, that's fine. We've all heard that one before, Jason.
Yeah, I know. Another V-Stream update for you.
Yeah, we get to jump in. That's the cool news.
That's a very powerful flashbang. Very powerful flashbang on that screen.
Blinded by the light. That was 5-3, by the way. It was 3-1 the last time we checked in. So Outsiders on a bit of a roll right now. 4-0 since we last looked.
Absolutely. There we are. No flashbangs here. Oh, TK in that game as well. So yeah, Outsiders mounting a quick comeback early on to take a 2-round lead. This is the final map of the day for us moving forward. The matchups are going to come in for the second half of the day. That's going to be Anders and Sponge that take you through that excitement.
That's exciting. I will soak that up like a sponge.
Nice.
Maybe we'll do that by the pool together, Jason.
Absolutely. Well, sun's going down now.
We'll bring out the Bluetooth. That's all right. We can bring a blanket and make it sort of like a picnic.
We got Vitality in action later today. Wait, that's today. Today's Tuesday. It is today. I was right the whole time. Vitality's coming up later today. Falcons is coming up as well. If any of you, like myself, are, you know, a NBK fan, you get a
that's actually gonna be cool to watch. Yeah, who else? It's Masuda. Who else is on there? That's a memorable name from the Stench. Haji had a little bit of a time. Mac is a little bit newer, and so is Python. But yeah, some names on there with NBK for sure.
NBK showed up. I saw him in the elevator yesterday. I didn't even really recognize him at first. He was wearing new glasses and he had a mustache. And he literally came with like the classic disguise that you would expect.
Nice.
So Vitality, Falcons will be playing. Heroic is coming down the stretch also, and seeing how they've developed. Nice matchup as well is going to be Mouse versus OG.
Mouse OG. I think the Heroic Saw game, that I just want to point out, I think Saw is one of the coolest logos.
Okay. Do you?
I do like it. I know triangles are like overused, but I like their use of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be cool. I mean, from Portugal as well. It'd be cool to have a Portugal team blowing up the scene. Navi's going to be facing off against Illuminar later on today as well, and then we got Big in action. So everyone's favorite teams come into play here over the next few days.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a picture we're going to have painted for us throughout the course of this RMR. The last RMR before Rio, obviously. And yeah, we're within a month of potentially what will be the biggest major ever in terms of crowd and fanfare, and I can't wait. That's gonna be
and in terms of like probably bringing new elements into Counter-Strike as well. We have touched on this in the Talking Counter podcast with Sponge and Yanko. That's a shameless plug, of course. Now on YouTube also, we've added a new thing. Just
congratulations,
heads up there.
Well done.
But you know, in terms of bringing a streamer into it with Gaules to have the whole stream zone going on, that's going to have, I think, something like 7,000 or 8,000 fans every single day. The Challenger and Legend stage is going to have in-action fans and everything like that, with the stage being played by the team. So a lot of cool stuff coming at the Rio Major. While we get this whole tech issue figured out, a new PC swapped in, we're going to send you off to Rushley with another pro tip.
Hey Future Pros, back on Nuke today with a nade set to get you down secret. This is a set piece you will see most pro teams run, with some variants here and there. You will need 3 Future Pros for this execute and 3 smokes total. Future Pro number 1, you will need to line yourself up with the middle of this part of the truck. Aim just out to the left of the bottom left of the right window. Then jump throw the smoke. Future Pro number 2, jam yourself into the corner of this bollard. Aim above the bracket on the silo and line your crosshair up with the top of this vent. Then simply jump throw the smoke. Future Pro number 3. You'll be throwing the close smoke. To throw the smoke, hug the right wall while running and aim just above the first fence post and throw. If done correctly, you will have an easy access to secret, but remember, always have someone watching the flank.
Well, still chilling. Astralis, NIP, 9-10 is the scoreline. I think we can probably see, I believe it's Brolin's PC, so I imagine he's just finishing up the setup, getting his config back in action, making sure all the settings are right.
Absolutely. And
but at least he's seated. At least we have headsets on. Those are the danger signs. Those are the initial red flags.
no, I would say that we're ready to roll here. And yeah, pretty quick swap. Got the tech team on that one. The SSDs quickly switched over. We'll get to see if NIP have a response for Astralis on this T side, because unlike in the first half where they got the 3 rounds but then the gun round started to stack in their favor. They've lost the first gun round. A 2-on-1 and Farlig.
Yeah.
Even a 1-on-3, to be fair, because he started it off by dropping the bomb. And Farlig was able to pull that off.
And time being of the essence as well. Time was an issue there as it was running down, which kind of forced them into the plant in the corner. So, round 20. Boost up in towards ramp room. Alexi's already out the squeak door, but Farlig's going to be aggressive. The hero of the last round, only 6 kills, but what a high impact he had previously. Double kill here to start things out. Unarmored opposition, or at least no head armor. And Alexi, how much of a play does he want to make through this smoke? He could get activated by a flashbang. He's got teammates behind him, but as it clears, he's going to make his move, and Glaive finds the timing. And the NIP attack has stalled out.
Back toward the radio room for Brolin and S-Tag. But stalled is certainly one word for it. It's about to be completely dead. As they walk in, great positioning from Xyp9x to make that so. He's got the first, flash in, he can just fall off the angle, and here comes the rotation from Turnpike. Doesn't even need it, he's got the headshot on S-Tag as well. We've got a tie game.
Tie game.
Seen quite a few closer affairs than we thought today. The first game, go way back, the Eternal Fire matchup against Bad News Eagles.
Yeah.
That looked one-sided, went 30 rounds. Okay, sure, we had a 16-0 from G2. That was pretty, pretty ridiculous.
We've had both ends of the stick, haven't we?
Well, we have, and then we've really had the far end of that spectrum because we went all the way to a quadruple overtime.
Yeah.
With FaZe in the previous matchup, which was Gamer Legion putting up a heck of an effort.
I'm not gonna lie, I mean, the shock isn't even necessarily that this is close. I was shocked when I saw the schedule, and I was like, oh, wow, they gotta have to play each other on day one. Normally, you feel like you're gonna get like a little easier of a matchup to start things out. Not for these two teams.
I'll look into the event flying then in that sense. No easy days. Blame F corner. Oh, he's got to just extinguish that, and then he's got to jump, and he's missed the railing. Thankfully, no one sprays in on top of it. Gap in the smoke that he's identified, though, and he takes advantage of his own extinguishment to take that kill. And he'll back off now as Hampus gets ever closer.
Yeah, it looked like he might have wanted to go back for more. Yeah, Farlig as well, just playing at the blue box outside. He can be a menace if they try and kind of lurk in, but it's only Hampus outside. Brolin, Rez, and S-Tag, you imagine, is going to join up to attack towards ramp room where Xyp9x is lying in wait. But that also relies on Hampus to be able to find this kill, to open up the other half of the attack, and he will do just that. Not fooled by the off angle. And no one else for Astralis is down low. However, Farlig still being outside is huge. Because NIP, excuse me, is readdressing to attack outside. He might get caught in transition though, Farlig. They spotted him for sure, right? Doesn't matter. He gets the first kill. 1-for-1 trade.
Fantastic stuff from Brolin. It's an important trade. And Hampus's position's massive. Xyp9x is dead. Oh, he almost fired too soon. He almost gave Xyp9x a chance to backpedal on that one. Molotov to cut the vents, and uh-oh, Mr. knows it now. Please get out of the way. Please let me go back up, Glaive.
I feel like it was a very slow reaction considering Farlig saw them moving back outside towards red box. He already had one player. Like, I felt like Glaive and Mr. probably could have made this move a little bit earlier, but at the moment, they just feel like they're cut out of the round. So NIP's going to regain the lead. 10-11.
And with 3 surviving, some reinvestment required, but both teams going to have an okay amount of money in the next round. Farlig even with 55. Wouldn't be surprised to see his op come out immediately. Brolin on 22. Not bad. We knew he was a star fragger and had that potential in him for years, but now it's interesting to see it come out on Nip and see if Alexi can activate him, because he's usually pretty good at finding people like that and making them work.
And I was going to say, I mean, Brolin coming into this team was expected to be like a very loud, very substantial addition and impact immediately, and I feel like at times Brolin's addition has been like quiet and subdued, so maybe, again, maybe there's something to this roster change that might unlock him as the prospect that we all know him to be. Or at least you'd hope so, if you're part of NIP.
Molotov spilling over from the roof onto the hut. And outside smokes again for NIP. Hampus is the closest further. Excuse me, I should say closest forward, most further forward. Blame F behind smoke, trying to see through that, is going to be completely taken out of it. And Alexi B is going to get a headshot on his Xyp9x through smoke, which now puts Blame into a bit more of an interesting situation. Glaive's there. He's gonna spray. He's got the gap to fire, and he goes down as well, though. And Blamef is gonna get spotted. Alexi with that one. So now we're looking at another 5-on-2 situation, and Farley with the op up close does at least get one back. But this is likely to be a save as they continue to put pressure onto him.
Yeah, if he can actually pull it off. Hampus is still staying parked outside just to be able to cut things off if he goes towards CT spawn. Meanwhile, the other three players from NIP are all down secret, ready to go. Mister's backing off towards T-spawn as well, and yeah, you're exactly right. I think this has to be a save at this point. Astralis trying to get a little bit clever, a little bit cute with the edges of smokes. Hampus is going to find Farley at the end of the day. So the AWP is dropped, and Astralis have no money. 150 on Xipix and Farley. Blave's got some cash, excuse me, to spend. Blamef is right on the edge when the bonus money comes in. So an interesting decision for Astralis to have to make in the later stages of this map in terms of their economy and what they can spend.
So Mister's not going to be anywhere near this exchange. And IP going to take another round. This is big. Again, the gun rounds have been huge.
Yeah.
Astralis have not been able to really answer the call. Gotta love that, just camping the op.
Yeah. Park yourself on it. Make sure no one can have it. It's yours, baby. Be selfish. There's the kill on a Glaive. He tried to get some spam kills, a small gap in the smoke, and Alexi as well.
3 through smoke that round because Xipix started it off with the headshot as well. So everything worked out super well for them to go outside in that situation.
Boom.
So 12 to 10 now for NIP.
Actually get to see an explosion there.
No, it's fine. We didn't need one. We knew it was going to happen.
that was just giving me a head shake?
Yeah, that was. He was giving you the no.
Cheeky buggers. 12 to 10. I don't know if I want to say like NIP's in like firm control. The money is going to make it interesting. Mister can drop a weapon over. We're getting a timeout from Astralis. The third one that they're using, they had to use 2 in the first half to try and address the situation, to try and deal with the massive run that NIP went on. It's 10-5 in the first half. It was a 10-2 run from NIP once the guns came out. That's what Astralis is burning their timeouts for. Now on the CT side, it's to try and get the money under control.
There's the timeout music coming in. And the money is going to start to haunt them severely. If NIP gets at 13 and they don't get a few kills here and they don't have to reinvest, they're going to be pretty much set for the rest of the game. If this is an efficient round from them, then they're going to be in a very comfortable position to try and close this out against Astralis. So the CTs need to look for every single victory in this round possible. Hampus outside as he has been in so many rounds quickly as well. Smoke's already down though. Pistol's getting closer. You can hear them marching up, so he's going to try and sit back on a more favorable angle for himself. Interesting little position and boost for Mister to try and see above and into the doorway. The challenge is going to go toward ramp, and that's where Farling's waiting. Headshot. Get your headshot removed angle because it's Alexi B with a great shot in return. Pop flashes and everything else to try and cover it off. The only M4 in the round. Mister's holding it. He's taking that downstairs as well into the control room. And even though Blave has more HP, Mister has the armor. That's why they're leaving it on him at this point in time as Blamef gets removed. And off angle, M4 should get at least one. Oh, but Alexi's got the shot on that as well.
Alexi's got that New Jersey buff at the moment. He's feeling good in the black and neon green. Oh, nice shot from Glaive as Hampus turns the corner. No idea he was there. Utility going to be spent to protect the plants.
This is interesting though. It's still worth going for because the bomb's not down. So take a peek, but also be careful of it because you've already got the 3 kills on this. You've got 2 guns picked up. If you can get another kill though, now you're really making a contest of it because Xipix comes in at the right time. It's all on to Brolin. No kits in play on this yet. Brolin's rotated around. Okay, there it is. It's in control. I was going to say there was one in the round. I was trying to find it on the map. It's because it was actually in front of where Brolin was looking. But they're going to tap it first off and then look toward the window because they know he was there. He's got the first shot already. And so make his job easier now as he isolates it down against Xipix. Flash out.
It's over. He's got to stick it if he wants to win this. And Brolin ain't ever going to let a 10-second defuse come out. So even if Xipix gets the kill at the end of the day, which he does not, good clutch from Brolin. 1v2 to save the round, to save the day. And it's 13 to 10. That would have been a huge hiccup. That would have been a massive obstacle for NIP. 3 rounds away from taking their first match here at the RMR.
But it does go back to what I said and the fact that they at least broke them down. So they're not going to have enough money for the entire rest of the half, which they would have done if there was 5 players surviving in that. So yeah, they at least give themselves some potential chance at a comeback at 13-10. Well held from Brolin to keep his nerves together in that one.
They got to start winning now. This is the full buy. Plenty of utility. They've got the op out in the hands of Farlig. Again, no kit. Missing a few little resources. Critical resources. Farlig just looks away. And oh, Alexi almost had a free kill. Just barely missed the timing. But Alexi's down vents. And I don't think Astralis realize it. And this time, the secret passage is not for free. They take a little bit of damage to the Molotov, but it might pull them right into Alexi. It will indeed. Mr. Excuse me. Completely wrong player.
Yeah,
Gets
different
punished.
player altogether, but either way, he's down. Zipix gonna try and swing. Oh, good shot of the door, denying Zipix a chance to do anything of it. And look at Rez playing next to it.
That's gonna be a double though if he opens it. Yeah.
He's gonna be oh, it's not. S-Tag got the bomb done in time. Twice he evades him. Oh, Glaive. Luckily, oh, it didn't. It spread back. I was gonna say luckily it bounced far enough to let him back through, but it didn't. I think spread back toward him, and he's gonna. Oh, I was gonna say he's gonna get caught as well with low HP.
This actually might be even worse. I think it might actually pull him back into attempting to go for this.
S-Tag waiting for it. Door open. This should be a clean shot. They try and go on the backside of the flash. Well, he's looked away. BlameF's got it. He's forced out from Flames. They know he's low, but Hampus holds it together. 14-10.
Incredible play from Hampus. Oh man, BlameF and Glaive. That one kill pulls them right back, and they lose everything because of it. But what a heroic effort from Hampus. As the flames come into his feet, as he's burning, he's brought down to 16 health. Yeah, I don't know what Rez's plan was, just kind of body blocking that door. Not really prepared for any kind of actual fight to come from it. And no chance to react in time as well. 14-10, and Astralis are going to burn their final timeout.
So 0-1 potentially for Astralis, and if Maniac is to be believed, he thinks whoever loses this series will not advance. That doesn't mean they won't win other matches in the RMR, but remember, with the Swiss system, he's just saying they won't make it all the way through.
Well, think about it too, like the roster changes that MP made are so much more compelling than like kind of the substitute situation of Mr., but even beyond that, Astralis struggled to even get here. It took them all of the qualifiers to even find a position in the RMR.
No, they've looked shaky. I mean, Pro League, they got eliminated from their group as well. They have not looked solid. No question about that. Rolling with a couple pre-fired shots. Rez, there we go. There's the AWP. We're seeing it up to 10 kills now. He doesn't have to do a ton in this map. It's nuke as well, which is situational for the op, but no mistake that time. Maps from Hampus to see if anyone is on the receiving end of those inside of the site with a Molotov through the door as well, just clearing the angle, even trying to spray it after a few seconds if anyone was daring to extinguish or run away from it.
So BlameF has the only weapon that's not a pistol on the team, SMG. He's got it in secret. There's some deagles and a 5.7, so they can do damage with it. They can do work. So much utility though for NIP. 1 minute left on the clock as they deploy smokes for the wall outside.
Whoa.
Deuces.
Wow, peeked before it. The deagle had the crosshair placement almost perfect, but it doesn't matter. BlameF, though, could surprise them. Goes forward to the molly, and Rez nails that as well. NIP looking pretty composed, I think, right now. Alexi just singing a tune that they're certainly on board with at this point. Like you say, maybe Jersey buff could be a bit of a honeymoon. Doesn't matter, because NIP looking like they're going to put the map points on the board against Astralis with Hampus taking out Zipix. It's all on to Mr. And I'm not sure that this is what he signed up for when he stepped in.
Look, it's a great opportunity regardless of what happens, right? For someone in his position.
Absolutely. Of course, I say that facetiously given he's in a 1-on-5. Yep. But yeah, no question you take that opportunity. No one in their right mind on an academy team would say no if the seniors come to you and ask you to step in. That's a compliment of your skills and also a great, like you say, case to showcase them off. Chance to showcase them off, I should say. And who knows? I mean, just because you're in one team's academy doesn't mean you're locked there. Look at Monacy.
True. True, he did find a way out. He's in a great position now.
And that's all because he showcased himself. That nade,
punch. No.
Alexi's going to go through it. You're right. It is potentially going to be. He's got Mr. Oh, good find from Zipix. If he gets down that vent, that's a huge problem.
I thought they were going to follow it up as a team, but Alexi's been able to make that play like 3 or 4 times throughout this half. He's had it when he's wanted it, and previously he hasn't been able to get that kill on top of Hut, but he has been able to sneak down vent. BlameF to deal with. Hampus is going to be the first one at it. Immediate dink. And there's Rez with the Tech 9, able to get an equalizing trade, and Brolin hears footsteps down vent. He's going to call that out.
Glaive, quick. What? Okay. Gonna go back up. There's 2 down there. and he's actually given that position up. I would have thought he sticks on that, but it's because they actually rotate the ramp down instead.
It's such a dangerous rotation, which is why that's the entire point of Alexi getting down in that position where we've seen him to cut it off, is like if you lose control of that vent on the CT side, like you just can't rotate through there. And I think once Blame F goes down, Glaive in his head is just like, it's not worth me coming down here because they could be waiting for me in so many different positions. Brolin's caught trying to hold on to Lobby with that crunch. And S-Tag and Rez, they were coming back up to try and attack and split that upper bomb site from Mini. All they have left now is the lower bomb site where Farlig is waiting.
For Farlig, both angles that he'll need to cover. Door opened by S-Tag, smoked in by Rez. That covers the mid side of the site and makes Farlig's job a little bit more difficult, so he has to, well, I was gonna say try and swing wide and get a better angle behind the silo, but they're gonna put a Molotov in behind instead. Rez is tagged and touched by that down to 19 HP.
Bomb has been planted.
Another smoke up close for them, which will allow Xyp9x to clear without control being as much of an issue. S-Tag's got the first though, spins it out. They reveal the position, but it's gonna be an AWP. Rez, the time to see if that primary op role is gonna benefit him as he goes aggressively, can't find it. Xyp9x has it, and it'll be 15-11.
Yeah, it's nearly an impossible situation for him to actually come out on top of that really, really tough scenario. Though if he'd got Xyp9x, Farlig with the op might have been in a weird position. 15-11, Astralis survived the first map point for NIP. They've got 4 left, 4 more chances, and they've got plenty of money to work with as well.
Pretty solid job to at least come back into that, giving up the vent like you say, but then still wrapping around. Alexi B going down may have been the real cork in the bottle that was opened.
I think they'll probably go back to that strat and idea at least one more time before all is said and done. Hampus has got to be careful because he did not spot Blame F. He saw Farlig far back with the AWP, but he did not see Blame F creep into this corner.
Farlig can watch above Blame F too. All he needs is information if anyone's going to drop over him. That's all they need to worry about. Still baiting away the shots, and Blame F, oh, he was going to check it, but he didn't check the close corner. He only looked back toward the bottom of the Twinkie, and that's why he's gone down. Blame F with the kill. And Alexi B doesn't even dare trade it because he knows there's other eyes on that corner as well. Blame F might capitalize on this. He might chase another one for him. And he's got the damage onto Rez as well. Puts him on 26. Hold inside of the site. Mister's got S-Tag down. This is looking lovely as Astralis now find their 12th.
What a great round from Blame F. Obviously, 3 kills is something special, but you're also funneling and forcing NIP to make it a play towards the other side of the map to go away from you. You can see everyone's desperate to try and find something positive in the round and coming through smokes and hut. Blame F just funnels him perfectly towards the defense. Timeout taken from NIP. They haven't had to use too many. They haven't been too stressed in this game. It's 15-12. They got 3 chances left. All that money starting to slip away a little bit.
This is the point with the round where they did make it down to the one-on-one. It's going to make things costly. They're going to invest into this. Took a low for S-Tag. Tech 9s for Rez and Brolin. Let's see if they go quick on this and try and maybe open up a site fast. They've already got the Molotov in place on top of the hut. It's the right side, though, leaves a gap, but there's no one going to be jumping on top of it. Alexi B, contact with Glaive. Oh, he's going to push his own Molotov. He's going to go through this. Damage taken. Oh, he's missed the chance. They really wanted to catch off NIP. That kill would have been massive to try and do so, because now Glaive knows they're in, and he's going to line him up. Bomb goes down. He's got a double. He's looking for a third. Hampus not going to allow that to happen, but Mister is still there and still swinging. They've all of a sudden turned at Hampus with 2. Alexi B's got the shot above. It's on to Blame F. That's ridiculous. They peaked so quickly to close it. They got a little bit zealous with their positioning, and Hampus will go back for the bomb.
And Blame F has got to be so frustrated. He's like, all you guys had to do was delay. All you had to do was buy time for my flank.
And that's a fine kill to give away, because now they have the information early enough that they can set up for it. That they can't be caught out, but Blame F's got lovely shots. He knows Hampus is trying to challenge. He swings, he looks for the headshot, but Hampus will close it. It's 16-12 in favor of NIP.
Yeah, close affair, but NIP do a wonderful job staying in it. They had 5 chances to close things out. A solid first half. And a great debut for Alexi B as the in-game leader, a great debut for Rez as the AWPer, and a great debut for Hampus as just a standard soldier within the machine. Victory for NIP. We're off to a break. That's us done for the day. Chad and Anders will be up next with more matches at the RMR.
Honda SUVs and trucks give you more. Save thousands more with 1.9% financing. Get more legroom, more cargo room, more power. In stock and available with 1.9%. Search your local Honda dealer today.
The new iPhone 14 Pro, it's amazing.
And you'll get our best deal.
Nice. But everyone should get it.
Everyone can get it.
Every new customer.
Every existing customer.
Every iPhone.
Every iPhone.
Okay. My work here is done.
You know, it doesn't matter if you choose left or right, because they're both chewy, crunchy, and delicious.
You know, it doesn't matter if you choose left or right, because they're both chewy, crunchy, and delicious.
What is that?
You're inside what we call a peripheral. You think this is a game, but it's real. It just hasn't happened yet.
All right, so here's the story. In a tournament where you have 3 lifelines, Astralis decide to give away one right here, right now. And that is over to the NIP side of Lexi B. Got to be feeling a little bit of that stress relief. And of course, we're here to talk all about it. I talk about YNK, I talk about Maniac, and I talk about the road to Rio, which is what we're currently on. So, in doing so, let's talk about the new look of NIP. And what did you see, Maniac?
I like what I've seen. I like what I have seen from NIP. Hampus individually is obviously going to be a point of discussion, and I think his equilibrium with Alexi B. We talked about both roles that could potentially be clash. I liked how in this game, apparently, Alexi B took all of the more aggressive initiatives and risks individually, whereas Hampus had the freedom to play a little bit later in the round and have that impact. And I mean, he was a beast.
Outside of that T-pistol round, where there was clear role overlap by Alexi shooting Hampus in the back of the head.
That's a problem.
It didn't make sense.
On yard, but yeah, absolutely a great game for Hampus. You know, it's great to see after he had a shocker of a tournament in Malta. I think that was such a huge outlier, but yeah, you could tell how difficult it was for NIP to do anything when he's having horrible games all the time.
So we had started the discussion a little bit around, you know, freeing up Hampus and not maybe dedicating him to being a turret within the server. But do we start to see some of that coming to life here?
Yeah, I think he was used at least on that. That's one map. Okay, we have to be careful with the
Careful,
samples
of course,
we have, but just based on this map, he was in the role and the context that he affectionates, the context that he likes, which is playing mid-round, which is playing a little bit reactively, having the freedom to sometimes either speed up, take a duel, or slow it down and play the really late lurks. And that's how he plays, and that's how he thrives, and he could do it at least on that nuke map.
And it was in the mid-round where he found some of the most impact he's had in this game, right? In the second half, you know, Astralis wins both pistols. They win the second half pistol. They win the first gun round with a 1v3 from Farlig, and this kill from Hampus in the second gun round in a 4v5 is absolutely massive, right? I mean, he denies a lot of information for Astralis. You can see even Zipnik's going back down. He's unaware where Hampus can be, gets one extra kill, and they close out that round. And later on, as they're starting to win some rounds consecutively, he has this huge 1v2 against Glaive and Blame. So without these two rounds from Hampus, who knows what could have happened?
Yeah, it's something you have to grab onto. You look at Hampus, you also have to give props over to Brolin as well. He did his part within this map. I think that goes without saying, Yanko.
Yeah, definitely. Just the sheer, you know, amount of frags really coming in from Brolin, which is what you want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see Brolin perform. Of course, his name kind of dropped out of conversations a little bit because of all of the other issues and obstacles that NIP had to overcome. If we talk about individuals and question marks, I think the one, I guess, area of expertise that I didn't get from that game is what we're going to see from Rez. I think Rez remains a question, and it is going to be a question for the future as well.
And you did say, you know, we didn't hear a little bit from Brolin here and there in NIP and in Fnatic. He's still 20 years old. Like,
wild.
That's nuts. Every time you talk about Brolin, like, we need to remember that because he has been on the tier 1 scene for, what, 4 years now?
It's been a while.
Feels like 4 or 5 years, so he's a veteran of the scene, but still a very young player.
Yeah, he is that. Let's go ahead and load up our Air Force Aim High head-to-head. Probably going to be featuring one of those gentlemen if I had to guess. And yeah, well, maybe not. Hampus v. Blame F. Now, I did say something along the lines of saving with Blame F, but he wasn't here to save Astralis today.
Yeah,
right.
I did ask for 55 kills.
You didn't get him.
He didn't deliver, and that's why I don't have the win, Trace.
Yeah, it's basically what it comes down to. I mean, you look at first kill percentages right here between the two. Is that a comparable stat line in a game that ultimately ended the way it did?
Look, I wouldn't put too much stock on that. I think Blamef, as much as we like to criticize him and talk about his saves and his lurks, I think he did try and put his best effort. He had a couple of rounds where he put it all on the line outside on yard. He was being aggressive. He was being in the face of NIP trying to stop them. But this truly was a one-man army. And you can see where Astralis is struggling to fight balance right now without config, of course.
Yeah, and for us, you said, you know, the question marks are still around Rez. Well, guess what? We're going to hear from him. Let's do it.
Rez, fantastic work from NIP managing to take down Astralis in your opening matchup. But I want to know about your new role in this NIP roster. How did that AWPing role actually arise for you?
It's obviously very different from me. I second up in my previous team a bit, but right now it's like it's a whole new thing for me. And obviously as well, talking English is like makes it more difficult. But yeah, I think I'm getting more into it now, and it's going to be much easier in the future.
Why did the team decide to have you in that position then? Was that something that you kind of put yourself up for?
Not really. Daniel knew that I'm a strong upper, Hampus as well. When he was IGLing, like he knew I could op, and like right now we just thought, let's try it out and see what happens. And it's been going good so far in practices. I just know we have to show it in the officials.
In terms of Astralis as well, obviously no config inside the server today. You have a lot of history versus them as well. How different did this Astralis feel on this nuke today?
They felt like they still did the things that we prepared for, so they didn't really change that many things up because Mr. or what he's called, I don't know, he played the same position as config on CT and stuff like that. So I think they played a pretty similar like they used to. So it makes our pre-plans pretty easier.
Well, great work in your first matchup, Rez. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, for us, we look towards the future, which is what happens when we have a game that runs over 50 rounds, because we do need to catch up on scheduling, and in doing so, I send us directly to a break where in which on the other side, we will be seeing a guy that Maniac's a big fan of. He goes by the name of Zywoo. So we're going to go into a break. We'll come right back. You're watching The Road to Rio.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Hello everyone, Mahone here to show some of the key tactics, tendencies, and positions we should expect from Vitality's Mirage. Starting on the T side, let's take a look at the key positions and who plays them. We should expect Magisk as the A extremity player, Masuda as the upper B player, Apex as the underpass player, and lastly Dupree and Zywoo normally at middle. Once
Investing can be a lot like basketball. Going hard for the first 12 minutes means nothing if you can't perform right up to the buzzer. So try not to get distracted by short-term opportunities when you can play the long game and focus on innovative companies that could be game changers for years to come.
Hey, coach.
Join the team and learn to invest like a baller at Fidelity.com.
The future waits for no one, so we refuse to wait for it. Today, battles are waged in nanoseconds, and planes are piloted from the other side of the world. The future's not coming, it's already here. Join us and be the future.
What if I told you the next great hybrid technology wasn't for a new car or computer chip, but it was for
the best ribeye every time. Hexclad's hybrid cookware gives you the performance of stainless steel, the durability of cast iron, and the convenience of non-stick. Welcome to the hybrid revolution. Welcome to Hexclad.
For the perfect massaging shampoo, we train to hit 7 pressure points. 7 pressure points, 2 hands, 1 path to victory. Remember your training? Right here, people. Good stuff.
Sport clips!
Hit all 7 pressure points, right? Let's go!
Finally ready, babe.
Ready to go?
My awakening skills ready. Taking damage.
Hey, we got him. Let's do this.
What is going on, everybody? That's right, the road to Rio has officially begun. It's our regional major rankings, RMR for short. We've seen some results already, and now it's time to see Vitality square off against Fantasy. My name is Parla. I am one of your desk hosts, and I'm going to be joined on the desk by Blair and Cassard. Boys, great to see you. The heat is turning up.
Oh yeah, oh yes, indeed. We've seen some interesting games thus far. I kind of expected things to be kind of one-sided, but then we had that phase game, for example. So I'm expecting a couple of maybe closer games here.
Listen, everything went according to plan today.
Okay, Cassard, all right.
A little bit overtimes here and there. Everything went to plan. The favorites won. We're still fine. Everything is good. A little bit delayed, but, you know, it's good Counter-Strike, so.
Absolutely. It's so bizarre, though, that phase game Elysian match. Quad overtime? What was going on there?
I think it's a good thing for FaZe to have that scare early on in this event. Again, RMRs, you can't afford to have any mishaps, any mistakes early on. So for FaZe, yeah, you get the win, and you're definitely ready now for your next
Yeah, they take the win, but it's kind of shame for Gamer Legion. They got their chances. It would be an interesting bracket like later on if they actually won that game.
True.
All right, and now it's time for us. If our first game as a desk is going to go the way of prediction or surprise. We've got Vitality, who were just the day before yesterday crowned champions of ESL Pro League Season 16 versus a massive underdog in the form of Fantasy.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate for Fantasy that they're going up against a Vitality, like you pointed out, just recently, just a couple of days back. They're still in tournament form right now. You know what I mean? They're ready to play. They're warmed up. So even if they might have had an upset potential against a Vitality coming in a little cold, that's not going to be happening.
If you can see the lineup on your screens, it's just pretty much, you don't know any of the players. Most of the players. You know, Tatsun, he played in Secret, he played in Illuminar, and sometimes in Mad Lion back maybe 2 years
ago. He's been around for a while.
Yeah, and then Icon was there for Sprout like a few years back, and that's pretty much it, right? We don't know much about these people. We know that they played a couple of RMRs. They qualified at one of them, beating the Spanish team or international.
I don't even know that.
I can't remember, but I mean, they got here in a very hard way, right? We know that those qualifiers are very cutthroat. It's very difficult to get there. So we're not going to take that away from them. But today they're completely outsiders.
Absolutely, they qualified.
I think they're playing right now.
Well, yeah. The outsiders too, then.
They qualified
like
through the third open qualifier. As Cassard is establishing, you know, they've already had to fight so hard to get here. Are they going to have any fight left, Blair, against a team of Vitality's caliber, no less?
Look, like Cassard said, I don't want to take anything away from them, but we have to be realistic here, right? You're going up against a top 5, maybe even a top 3 team, some people might say, depending on how they played very recently.
Yeah, everybody said the Vitality is playing great. You know, even on practice, even before coming to the playoffs, we know they topped the group. They had a harder bracket than Liquid did.
Yes.
And they managed to get it through. They were down 2-1 in the grand finals. They managed to pull through. So overall, they are in a tournament mode, like you said, very like a competitive mode right now. The form is up. Zaiwu is playing like an absolute monster right now.
Yeah,
everything is going their way. And it's good for the org like Vitality because they invested and risked so much money coming into this project and overhaul, switching from the French lineup into the international one.
Yeah, exactly, Cassard. We've got Zaiwu's stats up on screen from ESL Pro League Season 16. He was our DHL MVP, by the way, for anybody at home that wasn't aware.
1.42 rating. Again, you got to, for people who probably did not watch ESL Pro League Season 16, firstly, you should have watched it. These are against some of the best teams in the world, and he's dropping some ludicrous numbers in a tournament, in a modern-day Counter-Strike world where we have players like Nico, like Simple, like Monacy, for example. He has come to play. He's
There's a reason why this guy was, you know, 2 years in a row the best player just after coming out in the pro scene, right, as a young gun. But, you know, he performed well there. He needs to continue here and on the major if they qualify, which I think they will. But coming into the vetoes, we have what a lovely logo that is. First, I need to mention that.
I think it's
like
going to be
horse or something.
It's a unicorn.
It's a unicorn. It's a rainbow unicorn, Cassard.
Yes, we're getting into the vetoes now. We're kind of doing a
Dust 2.
Desk speed run.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a Dust 2 here, if you ask me, because obviously, you know, for the side of Vitality, obviously going to be banning out Nuke and Mirage. Actually, yeah, Mirage and permaban. Overpass. I'm a little surprised there. I thought maybe they might challenge them on Overpass, but then at the same time, I'll be real, Kassad. Doesn't matter what the map was going to be. I feel Vitality favorites.
If Vitality is feeling well on Dust 2, if that's like strong map for them, like they feel like they're confident on it, it's fine to go, you know, and play it. But the thing is, like, obviously, you know, Dust 2 is a pure aiming map. It's less strategic than some of the other maps right now, and it's all revolves on that middle fight, and it's just straight up brawl there, you know, flashes, mollies, utility, and you just swing and try to get the control of middle and maybe just execute later on. But I think it's a good veto for Fantasy as well. I don't think it's bad at all. So they, you know, at least they got that in their favor. I'm not going to give them a single % of a chance in this one just because it's reality, right?
But this is the best case scenario for
Let me cut in because I think Kassad's leading us into, well, what we need to do next. As I said, this is a world's first death speedrun, so we're ready for official predictions and then to get into
Vitality,
the match, so.
Vitality, easy. Just put it out there.
I mean,
do we have to ask, Paula?
Sorry?
You even have to ask. Honestly.
Okay, yeah, both of my analysts are going with Vitality, and everybody at home, this one is ready to go. The road to Rio continues, and this one is Vitality versus Fantasy. To cast us through it, it's Sponge and Anders. Boys, over to you.
Thank you so much to the desk. How are we feeling, Chad? How are you doing on this fine day? We've got a game coming up on Dust 2.
Yeah, a couple of wobbles for RMR Group A a little bit earlier in the day, but as Kassad said, you know, they got the victories in. We're sitting pretty, and I think Vitality will be as well here. Now, going up against Fantasy, on your screen, you can see they're just black shirts, right? These aren't even really an organization. These 5 individuals, they were looking in FPLC chat. Tudson, back when they were trying to qualify, was looking for players, putting some comments in the Discord, and then they end up qualifying to be here at the road to Rio. So let's see what they can bring. Dust 2 is going to feel like some comfy turf as the Good Luck Have Fun enters the server here. And we have Vitality, obviously the recently crowned ESL Pro League champions for Season 16. Yeah, they're the heavy favorites. I think you could say that much. Let's see if they pick up where they left off, shall we?
I mean, it's so interesting. Obviously, everyone knows who's the favorite here, but the thing is, it's a best-of-1 game. Some really wacky stuff can happen. Obviously, for Fantasy, it's all in, right? If you could take even 10 rounds off of Vitality here, that'd be amazing all on its own. You somehow manage to upset them, and best-of-1 formats could do that. I mean, we just saw it with FaZe, right? They were on thin ice at one point there.
Precisely, and that's where a team like Fantasy could do their best work. So, setting up for an A-set piece, there's going to be elevator smoke thrown forward, a flash over, and away they go. Apex and Dupree to receive, and a Goosh into Dupree right now. One into Apex as well. The side's going to be lost.
So it will be Topper coming in with some good shots there. Spinks is going to be going down. Bro to actually land the headshot and with the Glock at range, and Megas can cycle a little bit out of it. A 2-on-4 for the retake for Vitality. This is where Fantasy, even with the limited experience, you want to see them not fight this. Stay out of the range of those pistols. Don't give him a chance to equalize and make it a 2-on-2. If you stay hidden, they're never going to get close.
Yeah, and right now, Vitality might not even be pushing the issue here. I think one of the bogey factors this round that Vitality don't know about is Relax is in pit with a P250. He lurked late long. He's in the power position. The bomb's planted for him, and even if they were to get into the site and take all those kills, they'd still have to deal with him. So round converted, and a good one here for Fantasy. If we want to build the perfect storm for an upset, a pistol round is where it needs to start, right?
That's
the
true.
pistol round, the conversions, you have a nice gimmicky first gun round where maybe you beat them something fast, they don't have all the utility or the guns they want. All right, we're talking to a 4 or 5-0 start at that point. So let's see if Fantasy can pull some miraculous plays off like that.
Tell me if I'm reading way too much into this, but the fact that Vitality didn't try to go for the 2-on-4, is that also kind of a sign of restraint and professionalism on their part? That their mentality isn't coming into it saying, well, we can win anything. We can win any fight. Yeah. This is how Vitality would treat a FaZe or something like that. They'd say, all right.
What if we use Outsiders as the perfect example, Anders? I'm sure that one's still burned into your retina. The Vitality Outsiders game with all the saves. So, yeah, you're bang on, right? The Outsiders are a tier 1 team, and Vitality are respecting these guys, Fantasy, as so. Double scouts, Famus, MP9, and a pair of Julies walk into round number 2. So this is going to be potent and hard to break. Seen this setup before as well, where Zywoo and Apex double car with the scouts, different angles.
Yeah, if you get tagged by both of them, it's GG's. You're at least going to lose a player, maybe more down there. Also, in this round, you're likely to have very few Molotovs.
Yeah, and I think one thing that we've seen, and especially a lot throughout Pro League, was teams who were able to get long control and then try and do an anti-eco or anti-force in towards A, especially up against scouts, have a really rough go of things. So they are going to have to get past Zaiwu. Okay, he's over towards mid with one. And Apex has grabbed one towards long as well. This round is already looking like hot water for Fantasy as the tags keep coming and the body bags keep filling.
Yeah, this is real bad news, isn't it? 3 versus 5, but 2 of them already tagged up, and they're putting in a little bit of effort to try and get up long, but surely more players are showing up. Dupree's on a very long flank through T-spawn. It's going to be another 10 seconds before he's close by, but either way, they've been slowed down, they've been tagged up, and things are falling apart already here. This is obviously great news for Vitality, but for Fantasy, if they're trying to build that miracle for themselves, it's not looking good. A little bit of a boost to try and look over, but Sailu's going to get one. The dually saved from the previous round, going to come into play. And it's Relaxed on his own, 1 versus 4. Shut down. I count, what, 3 different scout headshots in this round, I think?
Yeah, and that's the crazy factor here. If you're going to do that long play up against scouts, it's going to be a very jarring time. This is huge from Zaiwu onto Bro. I want to big shout out to Bro and Topper for very easy to pronounce names, Anders.
So glad you said, Chad. Yes, I've said for a long time, I think there should be, just like there's theoretically, a player association.
Okay. Theoretically.
There should be a...
Yep.
Little shots. It's all banter. There should be a caster association that has the right to veto player names.
Okay. Where would you start?
We've had some really icy ones over the years. So.
Renazan is at the top of my list because I don't even say his name correctly.
Enesan?
That's the gentleman.
So we put so much effort into learning it. He has to keep that actually, because I don't want to waste my time.
You've mastered it now. Okay.
Great. No, but I agree. There are, so if you put too many 9s and 0s and like 4s in your name, but they don't even mean anything, then we have to call it. We have to end it.
Yeah, we have to have a conversation. That's for sure. And Zaiwu's about to have a big chat. Flash forward. There's the first kill. Aiken goes down. Quite a spread of nationalities here as well for the Fantasy roster. Tudson, Polish, Aiken, German, Relaxes, Dutch, Bro, Danish, and Top Up from Ukraine.
They've got everything. That's great. I mean, this has been the year of the international roster, so
yeah, I know.
I'm surprised to see that it's spilling over into everything now.
I'm 2,000 euros cheaper thanks to that, Anders, so don't you worry about that.
Nice. Let's see. Relax. Go for it. Oh, it's great stuff. Yeah, the tag up with Deagle initially. Follows it up, eventually taking down Dupree. Nice to try and scale up on that catwalk. They're going to hit the headshot. Bro, taking down Spinks. It's a pretty good headshot right there. 3 versus 3. They're still trying, and they're actually being given a fair bit of space. Relaxed to take down Magisk, and now just doubling up on that ramp. The bomb, unfortunately, is on Bro. If it was on Relax instead, they could have switched it around. They could have gone to the B-bomb side. It would have been really fun, but it's stuck up there, and that's just how it plays out. Still, I'm surprised at how much space they got to just duel with those Deagles up on the catwalk.
Yeah, lots of damage done here, so M4 will be retained, but good stuff from Fantasy, right? I don't think the question with players and teams like this is can they aim, right? Because we talk about Bad News Eagles, they were like a pug team before. Right now, they're a bit more matured as a team. They still have that flary style. The way we're going to talk about them in this event is different to how we spoke about them during Antwerp. But a team like Fantasy, who came together in quite literally the pug realms of FPLC Discord chat, right? That type of conversation is, yeah, these guys can put the crosshair in the right direction. It's about everything else, the teamwork, the strategies, all those little details of Counter-Strike that come into question now.
Funnily enough, this guy, Dupree, I bumped into him at the gym yesterday, and this is more or less what he says.
Name dropping again, Anders, I see.
Know, you know, and also telling people I was in the gym, you know, doing a lot of bragging here all at once. Oh, hold on, I'll hold the phone. I'll come back to it, I promise. Dupree taking a fair bit of damage. Oh, deep nade. He gets a bit greedy, and that nade doesn't do anything. Relax with a good timing to take down Dupree. This is good work. Look at what it's done to the defense. Open and Catwalk are basically, middle and Catwalk are just completely open up at the moment.
Oh, here comes Apex. He wanted that one. So, kind of left a little bit high in driver match just there, but he'll get it up. He'll grab the reload. In-game leader having to do the dirty work on his own. But they already, once again, have damage. You're right. This gap, the 2-2 split, and now attempting to clamp down on mid. You're going to have Apex chiming in from B, and Zaiwu alongside of Spinks here from short.
Good little shot, that M4 that he picked up, even if he had to work for it. It comes back in a big way. Mega's gonna get the headshot as well on Tudson, and that leaves Bro and Topa just messing around right now, trying to find an entry, but not gonna be possible here. So they kind of created the entry on the first kill and couldn't really do anything with it.
So what was Dupree saying in the gym while you were flexing?
Yeah, we're talking about yeah, some of this new generation of players, and Dupree was saying it's never really the aim that's the problem. Nice attempt. It's not the aim that's the problem, right? It's everything else. And even worse still, you know, if you come up and you're 18 and you're just joining a team and you have this crazy mechanical aim, actually, it can be very hard to convince someone that there's more to the game, really. So, I mean, you say FPL or FPLC or something like that, but I mean, even if you ever play on the platform and you run into some of those level 10 players, they can be straight up insane.
There's some gangsters out there.
Yeah.
There are some like absolute murderers out there on the FACEIT platforms, all those different pug realms. It can be very scary. They put in the deathmatch hours, but this is the thing, you bang on. We might need a bit more of the theory hours, and let's theorize what goes down this round. Long control taken from Vitality early, and upper tunnels push from Magiskiri. Had success doing this against Yakinda in that grand final just the other day, and Bro might get caught off guard here. He's knife out, being very noisy. The bomb's in the backyard, and that's a free kill. Magis can just actually get on out. He doesn't need the bomb. He's done the damage. So that's a great find here into round number 5.
That's a very, very cheeky play. Aiken taking a really long time on that one. Probably should have had it. Apex is down to 1 health, but he's allowed to live. And now it's a 5 versus 3. It's a real disaster here for Fantasy. Could be in a position where they're going to be down 4-1. It looks likely at the moment. They're starting to group up into Upper Dark. But even then, there's 2 HGs left inside of that B-bomb site and another smoke and a flashbang. So getting through that choke point into the B-bomb site probably going to be difficult. Might end up taking a lot of damage for it. 50 seconds on the clock.
Good lurk smoke here. At least it'll keep both B players busy for now so they can whir back into action for this mid space. And they're actually going to mantle up the Xbox with the bomb on top of towards short. Flash forward from Tudson, so the teamwork is there for the basics as they have stairs control. But I think this is just keeping the defense planted in a 2-3 split right now while Relax searches over and the smoke is faded. He's going to be sitting there like a plum, but still gets the opener.
Sick, well played. He actually goes for what he could have had Dupree. That's a nice bit of playmaking coming out from Relax. I like seeing that. They had to do something because otherwise they're going to lose this round. And they still might. 2 versus 4 here. Tudson's very, very low on health. Trying to get that bomb plant, and he's just barely successful. But they cannot win the round. Just need to point out as well that lurk smoke you were talking about, it also baited out all the utility in the B-bomb site. So that's also cool. Relax having the cool round even if they lose it.
Yeah, and Apex still surviving on that 1 point of health there. So the bomb does go down, but he stays alive. Fantasy could consider another buy here. They have, well, enough money to get Galils and armor out on everybody and a couple with AKs if they'd like. But yeah, this is not the start we were looking for if we wanted to see that upset. But it didn't start that way for Gamers Legion, remember? They started down in a bit of a hole against FaZe, and they brought it all the way back. Gave us a very entertaining matchup. And here we go again. So 1 AK, 4 Deagles, light util.
Apex flashed one way or another out there. I'm not sure if that was team or from the T side. Dupree. Talk about how Magus found a kill. Oh, he's actually going to get caught. Did they see him earlier? That seems like such an odd angle to be covering. They almost must have. Snipe was still going to take it back, though. Bringing down Aiken. Spinks, he falls, but a good return. Still traded. This is pretty encouraging for Fantasy. And, bro, is he going to see it? Don't think he quite does, but he's still in an amazing position. If anyone comes back at the B-bomb side, it might be very hard to check.
Well, this could be a freebie. Oh, that was the chance right there, wasn't it? The Deagle 1B onto Zaiwu would have been the way in. Now there's real issues. Rotation's coming. The bomb from Fantasy is still yet to enter the upper tunnels. They might want to call this off. There's so much util. Bro has to be communicating this, and he's being flushed out. Do you really want to head into a bomb site that you've just lost?
Yeah, the opportunity was there, but you're right, they were really, really far away and probably not worth it now. 50 seconds. Tudson and Relax, 2 versus 3. One of the better chances maybe they've had in the last couple of rounds to actually do something here. So I was ready if they cross, yeah, right into it. No problems there. Comes back for more. Nice finish to the round. A nice triple. He is 11-0 right now, Chad. We could be in record territory if we keep going like this. I don't know what the record is for RMRs or majors in general, but
I think what you bring up is a very good point in terms of his form. And I think if we consider the fact that the final was only 2 days ago, right?
Yes.
And now they're back in the server again today in the same territory. I think I heard Matt and Jason talking about this earlier. The only thing that's really changed for these players, especially the ones who are here during the playoffs of EPL, is the banner behind their head. Oof, Aiken, that's a big kill onto Zaiwu. We were just talking and singing his praises, and he will get pipped to the post here. The German sniper picking up the opening frag.
Hold on, Chad. You said we were, but you're the one that cursed him. I don't want any part of this.
I have so much power, Anders. Every tweet I make, it's always the opposite.
That's how it is. Another one very deep. Maybe too deep. Toba will make his way around it. So far, so good. But an opening kill on Zaiwu, that's got to feel great. I can't believe that actually chases him down.
It's unfortunate there. And I feel like now they know the AWP is over towards the B side. It's more likely to send them in towards this A play. You're assuming, okay, there's no AWP over towards Game Helper mid-long. over towards Car, being able to assist. With that, though, you do get Magisk and Apex as the combo up towards the A site. So they will have to search these 2 kills out. And Aiken with a real chance there. Past the crosshair, shot not hit. Looks like they're just going to execute. Maybe the late lurk long from Bro during all of this.
They had the other round where they had Deagles up on the catwalk and were allowed to fight for a long time, so maybe they're sort of thinking, we had some space before, maybe we could do it again. This boost over looks like a really good idea, but Magus might be too far forward, and he sees the jump. He knows, oh, that's a no-scope from Aiken. He somehow lands Magus. I can't believe it. That's a really good opening, but they need to keep it going. Only 25 seconds here for Fantasy to try and find a way in. And Bro opening up on long. Apex crouched down here, and he's going to make his escape around the corner. 18 seconds now. The bomb, just the top of his head. Oh no, and it fell down. That is a disaster.
Oh no, poor Bro. What is he meant to do in this situation?
Nothing you can do.
Oh no, that's miserable. We saw that happen the other day to G2 when they ended up losing to Vitality in that semi-final affair. The bomb dropped off the back of JKS. They lost it. Well, I think they recovered the bomb, but I think they still ended up losing the round. But that's just so miserable. Just getting tossed down towards CT spawn. Never how you want to find yourself here. Going to be a bit frustrated with this. And here's the opening pick for Aiken onto Zywoo. So getting the totem boost to give him the high advantage for this pick. It's always good to get to see these head-to-heads like this. Swings out, crosshair in the right place, ready for somebody, and oof, right between the groin right there. So that's going to be a tough one for Zywoo to stomach.
You still see how quick Zywoo is, even though he actually had his crosshair in the wrong position and Aiken had his in the right position. Zywoo still gets to adjust and fire first. He just missed it by maybe a pixel or so. Anyway, it's 6-1 as a scoreline. I guess predictably so. I mean, it's not shocking this is happening, but obviously for Fantasy, they would have loved some of those closer rounds where it's down to 3-on-3s. They need to win some of those.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And they have taken a timeout. And look, I think maybe in that conversation, look, boys, in terms of the fights, we're not doing too terribly here. We just need to see if we can close out these rounds. So out towards the long doors, Molly comes through, nades again. They made it towards the blue bin, but they're actually playing ahead of it. So kissing in the smoke. Sphinx goes down. Top has passed all this. Oh, he was. He was past all this. Apex does find him out. Really good work for the in-game leader. And that's the potency of that round done. Now they're going to walk around the map for the next minute and 30 seconds with this AK and 3 Deagles. So looking for heads, name of the game. When I saw this unicorn logo, I thought, have they been picked up by the organization Unicorns of Love or something? But maybe they've just gone with the team name is Fantasy and unicorns are from a fantasy world. I don't mean to spoil everybody's hopes and dreams, but unicorns are not real.
All right.
Sorry, Anders.
Bit of a party pooper, but all right. I can respect it. Trying to keep it real with everybody, Chad.
Wait till I tell you about the Easter Bunny.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it could be. I'll be honest. I thought something similar myself. It's a very noticeable look. I like it.
Yeah, stands out. We got a bit of a tech pause coming through into the next round. Issue is one of the Fantasy players, but luckily Magisk is a homie. He's going to take the timeout for them. And Aiken, finding Dupree. Look at the wrong way. There's still time for him to make a nuisance of himself in this round.
Yeah, the bomb's lost. It's so unfortunate that it's in the hallway. If he plays 1 versus 3 like this and he has the bomb on his back, if he finds a kill, maybe he could find a bomb plant somewhere. It's almost the kind of stuff they have to play for now because they're just really far behind at the moment. Trying to take the fight to Cyber, but he's going to get caught instead. 13-1 on the AWPer. And as you pointed out, a tech timeout coming up to fix a little bit of an audio issue.
Yeah, these things they do crop up. Shouldn't be too difficult to get this one sorted. Don't you worry about that. This is what happens, right? When we've had 24 teams here throughout ESL Pro League for the last 5 weeks, and some of them have returned. Some of them returned again here for the RMR. But then on top of that, we have a whole batch of new teams, right? Because of the open circuit nature due to Valve's system, you're getting so many names that you don't necessarily get to see at this level of Counter-Strike. And I think this has to be one of the most unique things about this event now, with how the landscape's shaped. You're putting yourself and your team on show, and if you can qualify here in the RMRs, you can get yourself into the major and get yourself, well, I don't want to make any promises, but I know the players love their little stickers. They love their stickers.
It's a big draw, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure for many of the players here, this is a dream, right? Over on the other stream, we've got some action just kicking off, as you can tell, so... You know, if you're watching, I believe we're on Twitch, they have that like dual streaming thing.
Squad streaming for sure. Yeah,
quite good. You can check that out. You can kind of keep an eye on everything all at once, which is great news. A lot of community streamers. I think the ESL or the IEM account, I can't remember which one. They
put out the guidelines, right?
Yeah, guidelines, and there's a bunch of them out there. So it might be worth keeping more than one tab open even.
Yeah, I think here, this is one of the bigger issues we're going to have come towards the tail end of the week when we have the Asian RMR going down in Melbourne at PAX, and we have the the Americas RMR kicking off tomorrow. North America, not that represented actually in the Americas RMR, but that'll be kicking off tomorrow. So the Counter-Strike is going to, well, maybe not double, but we're definitely going to get a bigger injection of matches coming through. Yeah, and this is all in the pursuit of 1 week of Counter-Strike to qualify our 24 teams for the major. Obviously, we'll have a bunch of them in the different stages, but we'll be keeping tabs on all of this good stuff. Now, we can give everybody at home a look at what happened in Group A today, right? Because these 32 teams are split up into 2 groups of 16. In Group A, in the 1-0 column, at the end of the day, we ended with G2, Fnatic, Cloud9, Spirit, NIP, FaZe, Bad News Eagles, and Sprout. So all of those names managed to win their opening games, and the teams that lost their opening matches were Force, Eternal Fire, Gamer Legion, of course we mentioned their matchup against FaZe, Astralis, they have no config, right? They're using Mr. at the moment. True. 1 win, that's the team with Flamey, Bait, Aurora, and Ecstatic. Now those are the teams that ended in the 0-1 column.
You know what's really anomalous about that to me is how many of the sort of predicted teams actually made it through. I feel like whenever we come to this, especially for the major, whenever someone says, who's going to win those, I always think, this is easy. Like, I can pick all the names, and I'm always horribly wrong when it actually comes. Like, there's always some crazy, and I guess this almost happened with FaZe, right? But I feel like usually for RMRs or the major itself, there's always something like that happening where you think, oh yeah, this is pretty straightforward, and then when it actually comes time to it, is not at all straightforward, and you get some really crazy upsets. Of course, I mean, it's only day 1, but I'm surprised that so many of the you know, I guess favorite teams actually turned out to win like that.
Well, that's the thing now. And it's at this point where there can't be any more excuses made for losing in best of ones. But that is the reason we give for some of these underdog teams for beating the better teams, right? And we were talking about what the perfect scenario, the perfect storm would be for a team to win in an upset. Well, you need the pistol, you need the first gunner, and you need a bit of snowball and momentum. You need to be able to hope that you can get on top of these better teams while they're caught sleeping. And also the map pool starts to be a conversation. If you're a bigger team, part of a bigger org, you should be able to punish the map pool. You shouldn't be ending up in comfort zones for more pug players. So there's a lot of these factors, right? And obviously the pressure, it's all on one side of the server as opposed to the other. Fantasy come in here, they get blown about Vitality. Everyone's like, well, that's what was meant to happen. If Vitality even get close to losing, right? Even if it's like a 16-12, people are like, well, it's pretty close for a Vitality there, right? But they still got job done. And at the end of the day, that's really all that matters here. But the tech issue's been solved and we're back underway.
Yeah, shout out to the admin team for fixing that ASAP. Dupree, good entry from Topa. He's going to be taken down. He was pretty aggressive, and they've tried it a couple of times. Dupree was successful earlier, and Magus was as well in Upper Dark, but this time they call his little trick, and that's great to see. Another good opening for Fantasy that they need to keep building on now. They've had a couple of rounds like these where they actually have the opening, or maybe they even have sort of the 3-on-3, which is still pretty good on the T side, and then they haven't been able to win them, so we want to see them try and exploit this.
You can understand the call to come back, and I guess they're going to congregate long and try and pop through. You can see Util being juggled across. I think that you'll see a flash come through the doors, but Spinks is the long anchor here, so he's a monster. Getting through him will not be easy.
Nope, especially if you don't flash him out. A little bit of a peek on the low health player, Topa. Maybe not a bad idea sending him in first, but somehow they can't follow it up. That took way too long. They would have had him right away if they were swung on him, but I think they might have been flashed themselves. Relax is down to 9 health. And it is a 3-on-4. They still have the lead. Magus gets out on the hunt. And if he can find the kill here on Bro that's up on Catwalk, it's going to be a nightmare for everyone down on lone. They're going to be in a lot of trouble. So we'll see. Bro's still getting grenaded back there. Magus is taking some real steps close. Oh, shot right through the smoke. And they get blown up as well. Relax is gone. Bro got flanked by Magus. And now it's a 1 versus 2 here. Hudson trying the best. He makes the jumping no-scope shot to take him down, just to let him know he's in the server with Saibu.
Yeah, okay, so he spoke about the respect, you know, saving on the pistol rounds. I'm not saying Zai was being disrespectful there, but he's going for an out-of-the-box play. Spinks only gets 1 here. Thought he might have got a bit more done, but there was some residual damage. You can see it assisted in the feed there by Apex's nade. And to know, even with Apex making a mistake there, he threw his incendiary too short. It got extinguished in that own short smoke they had up, which meant he ended up dying to that short player. Well,
can you imagine what it must be like to be in the server with this monster? It's just absurd, isn't it? Oh, man. Well, we knew this might happen. Here we are.
I think a lot of us hoped this would happen. Seeing ZywOo in this form and Vitality now as a contender, it's fantastic, right? Counter-Strike's starting to shape up very, very nicely here. It's clear that FaZe have something they need to oil, maybe to get it out the WD-40, because they're not looking immaculate at the moment. Na'Vi as well with a couple of speed wobbles.
You know, on the upside, Chad, we're getting an answer to, you know, the age-old question that the philosopher Mercury once asked.
Okay.
Is this real life or is it fantasy? And it turns out it is just fantasy.
I thought that was a Queen song.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm learning something here today. I'm not really into philosophy, Anders. Do you have any other good nuggets that we could operate with here today?
I probably do, but I feel like we could enter into some real. It could be. I feel like that's more for like a real tech pause. So if we get like a 30-minute tech pause,
okay,
then we can roll something out.
Well, my mom has a philosophy. She says a quick game's a good game.
All right. Not just in Counter-Strike, but just across everything.
Of all games. So use that as you will, or don't. It's a freebie. You can thank Mrs. Birchall.
Decent nade back down there. They've been pretty active with nading that lower dark from the catwalk, so basically she's getting her way is what we're saying here.
Yeah.
9 to 1.
We have to do this. Look, there's some big issues here for fantasy, right? When you think about this, Dust 2 can be a very formulaic map, even though once upon a time it used to be very run and gun, get your space, but now when teams have everything tweaked, it can be a bit more difficult. Aiken with another nice opener, that AWP, so continuing to contribute with the big green. Smokes at the ready over towards A again, but they still have 3 defenders. Now they know Dupree's dead. He is one of the B defenders during all of this, so will the call come out from fantasy to knock on the door of the other bomb side, or will they stick to their guns as Apex shows his, spams through, Broken hear that, and he's actually going to try and lurk out.
I like this. You're playing a team that's playing the way the Vitality is right now. I feel like you need somebody to step up and be a playmaker and open it up, because playing this...
He's open?
Conservatively, yeah, he's opening it now. Relax, catching Megas as well. This is looking great. They could be finding a second round here. Bro lurking just at the edge is a cool idea, and actually, it's not even Bro, but it's Aiken going to be able to catch Sideways. They're escaping. They've already given up on the round, so might not even have been Bro necessarily that sort of opens up this entire round, but I like seeing them try it, because I feel like if you're going to be a little bit scared and playing back and trying to take some aim duels, Vitality have kind of already shown you that's not going to work.
Sure.
They're going to blow you up if you try that.
Well, I like that. It was a well put together round, and if you can just understand the details here for everybody at home, with Dupree and Magis being the traditional B holders for Vitality here, once they get that pick, logic would dictate that doing a B split or heading B should be slightly weaker. But they went short, they showed presence, which is going to have the A rotator player, which is Apex, play closer towards the A site. He either will be in CT spawn or he'll push up the ramp to assist against an A execute. They used that opening. Not only did they drop a player down to first of all rumble if there was a player in CT spawn, but then also make sure those A defenders will have to rotate past him just to get over towards that B bomb site. And then they all waltzed out mid to B. Now here's the opener again. Just as the smoke gets deployed, Dupree shows a little bit of shoulder, a little bit too much, is Aiken with a big bit of impact here. So great shooting from him.
Yeah, really good stuff. I think Bro even got the kill right at the end onto Apex, so they don't even get to save too much. Bank is a little bit low maybe on the Vitality side. If somehow Fantasy could find a way to put a couple of rounds on the board here, they could start to get a bit more momentum than what we've been seeing so far. So that's got to be the aim right now. Take away the CT side economy and try and find a little bit of stability at the end of the half.
Golly, another missed molly right there. I'm not sure if they realized they missed through that, so this long pressure could come quicker than maybe Vitality are expecting. Bro is already out and has all this control, and that's a great nugget of information for Fantasy to work with now. Bringing the troops over. They can have multiple members out the long doors. They can set up for smokes towards the cross, but they need to rumble Zywa and Spinks, and this is a bit of an unorthodox setup here. They want to retake the space. The smoke goes over, but the flash is too, and Zywa's been tagged. He's in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, he's already low. Another flashbang to put him off the corner. If they had a good nade right now, he might be dead. Spinks sees the shadow. He's going to swing for it. That's a pretty good little swing, but Bro is there to pick it up. Apex assisted on that flashbang, so pop flash around the corner works really well all the way up from the A bomb side, but it's still a 4-on-4 at about 55 seconds here. Ooh, gonna try again. Cyber might be in some trouble. Going to be at least forced a little bit further back. Yeah, he is worried about that. Another pop flash coming in. This time it's going to be Dupree to try and pick up on it, but I think he might get team flashed. Apex doing fine up here. Smoke just up, and he turns around for it. Reads it, but doesn't have enough bullets to get the kill. Oh, this is awkward. He has to fall back. If he gets caught here, it might be their round, and he nearly does.
Okay, well, the smoke, they have to get the bomb across, so they're going to try the old chuck it method, and well, it will be scooped up by Topper, who is very low, but plenty of time to plant. The bomb will go down. They've been able to get it down at least partially for long here, so Relax will have to be in the clutch, and he's picked up the AWP. Perfect weapon for the... Oh, it's behind the single box. Cancel that.
Yeah.
Cancel that, indeed.
Ooh,
yeah,
that could be bad.
That is very bad.
The reliability of shooting through that box is very sketchy, isn't it? He's going to pick up an AK instead and try and get a bit closer. Got to be careful, though, making a bit of noise. Dupree still going down, and he's still on that defuse, and they'll find it. Relax, just very awkward positioning there at the end. Gets the triple, but they'll lose the round.
Yeah, some tidy shooting, right? I just assumed that they would have tried to have planted on the open side to set up for the long play. I was just looking at Relax where he was going. You can see the shake of the head right there. That's the setup that you're looking for. You want to plant for long. You want to set him up with the AWP. It's a power position to find. But planning behind the single box, some real issues. We saw the same thing unfold for Paul Monacy the other day. He was running up the ramp, picked up an M4. There was no ammo left, was unable to find the kill, and lost the round to, I think it was Bit sitting the defuse. But either way, back in we go. And Spinks through the smokes just pushes in. The flashes are good, and that's 2 massive kills for Spinks. Immediately negates any of this long pressure. Ooh. Maybe not, I spoke too soon. The nade should do it. That's how this should have been looking. Bro does punch back with 2.
Yeah, good defense from Spinks, and I think Bro's kind of got the call of where he was coming from, so it's a really good adjustment. I'm impressed that he could get that flick over to pick him up. That's some good shooting. 2 versus 3. I mean, if you look at the Vitality economy, it tells the story of a fantasy team that might only have 2 rounds, but they've managed to at least do some damage. They've managed to get. They're not just getting blown up with Vitality surviving these with 4 or 5 people every time.
I'm looking at the round timeline right now. There's been a bunch that have 2 players surviving here for Vitality throughout, a couple with 3. Obviously, the previous round got very close indeed.
So that's encouraging. You want to see that, because otherwise it's just not that much fun if it's just completely one-sided. I mean, scoreline might be, but that's not always enough to tell the entire story. Pre in the corner. Ooh, and actually a wide peek. Relax. If he would have crouched into that and tried to go for a really shallow peek, I'm guessing Dupree would have been super ready, but sometimes it can be a bit rough if people kind of run for an extra millisecond.
You discussed the cash here beforehand. It is kind of low. So if Apex and Magis decide to go for this and they lose, they're probably giving away everything here.
Yeah, they might be. Wonder how this is going to go. Aiken, good flick on to Megiskin. Now, certainly not going to be worth it anymore for Apex to try and do this. So a 3rd round on the board and a very good shot at maybe even a 4th.
No, for sure here. I think lost bonus bottom of the barrel for Vitality. They are going to try and hold on to this M4, and it should be fine for Apex. Aikens and Tunnels relaxes still over towards the B bomb site. He's going to scoop up this AWP on that long corner and bring that one through for Zywoo. He doesn't have enough to buy himself an AWP, so you can understand why. Apex can drop that, buy an M4. Then if we look at the rest of the individuals, there can be an M4 for Spinks. So there's 3 rifles minimum, and likely to see Dupree and Magisk operate on something a little bit lighter, maybe a 5.7, maybe a Deagle. But these 2 kills from Bro actually meant a lot in the context of this round. I thought that after Spinks gets the double, that round is pretty much done and dusted. The nade comes through to get them that 3rd of the piece, but not enough. And a great round here for Fantasy to bounce back 10-3. And a timeout called, so they're definitely applying pressure to Vitality. We know in these best of ones, you can't take anything for granted. Here comes those purchases we discussed. Spinks, Apex with the M4, AWP for Zywoo, and Magisk and Dupree into those pistols. It's a tough one for the coaches here during the major cycle, right? They aren't allowed to be animated at all in the same way, other than in the timeouts when they're allotted to communicate. Otherwise, we know they have to sit very, very quiet behind the teams. There can't be any crazy celebrations. There can't be too much of that nonsense going on. Valve have it very strict here into when and how they can contribute.
10-3. If they get up to 5, if they get the last 2 here, it'll be really interesting. At least Fantasy have a tiny platform with which to build something on into the second half, but I think they do need it. I don't think 3 or 4 is going to be quite enough. Hudson trying to do something out there, getting the spawn for long. Wanted to see if he could maybe time it right. And he's sticking around. This actually could be a bit interesting. See if anyone wants to go for it. Apex might have stepped right into it if he would have waited a bit longer, but Dupree on the 5.7 already tagged up, and the other weapon is a Deagle, so that B-bomb side not that defended at the moment.
Yeah, something to keep in mind when you do hear those weapons sound off, right? Okay, there's 1 pistol here. How much more do we think is in the server? And look, they obviously know that there was something saved. Would hedge their bets considering the scoreline as well, that there was some residual money to be working with. Late Xbox smoke will land. Aiken already has this mid control. He's actually using that to surge forward and look for fights. Relaxes alongside for the ride as they do They're out close mid doors. Now, the setup is heavier towards B for Vitality.
Top is sneaking up.
Bit of chat being done in between the teams right now, but we'll have to talk about that come the tail end. Walking in towards Zywo's AWP here. Anders, how many does he get?
I'm going to say at least 3 on this one. He's far enough up. There's the first one. Can we get another one? Got a little bit of for auction. I was going to say silent auction, but it's definitely not. It's very loud, in fact.
And we don't have the paddles, so I guess they just have to put their bodies on the line for this.
Yeah, stick your head up if you if you dare. You can try. Oh, good Molotov. Oh, they're going to catch him. I'm all the way wrong. Just the 1 kill. Nice little setup there, but Apex comes back just as they're trying to relocate and gets a double spray down of his own. 2 versus 3 now. 10 seconds on the clock. They need that bomb plant, and it has to be right now. Relax, actually. I respect that. Took an extra peek just to make sure there wasn't somehow one last player in the corner. That's respectable now.
All 3 from long. This is a weird retake.
It is a little bit weird. Hudson, though, he might get a well. What a spray! Taking down Spinks, but he's not expecting the 3rd one. Meg is missing all of the shots, finally. He's going to be able to pick it up, and also the M4. A couple of bullets going out, but Relax has got all the confidence in the world. He's going to win that fight 10-4. Not at all bad for Fantasy.
Okay, well, that's a nice round to find here, and money really a problem now for Vitality. Nothing saved. We're talking around that 2K mark for everybody to invest here going forward. But another technical timeout, it looks like it's with Relax again, so just want to get him sorted and underway because he's been hitting some sharp shots, and Tudson very sharp to get up to 5 there. Oh, double up, transfer onto the second. And Tudson's maybe a face that you guys have seen around the traps before. I know the Desk touched on him. They mentioned the fact he'd played for Secret. He'd played in a Polish team in recent times as well. I remember back during... there was I forget the exact name of it, but he was part of Henry's UK team once upon a time. I know Henry helped him out getting a computer back in the early stages.
A throwback.
Yeah, it's the same with Kiosk, for example, who was playing in Gamer Legion earlier. I remember watching him when he was in Simon Gaming, and I'm pretty sure that's when Perfecto was in Simon Gaming back in like 2019 at the Star Ladder Berlin Major RMRs. So there's a lot of these players that we've been able to track with their appearances over the years. They've been battling throughout the online realms and a bunch of different tournaments, different circuits and whatnot. But the curious story with Fantasy on the screen, if you're just joining us now, is the fact that this is essentially a mixed team. They were just thrown together to play the qualifiers online, which is how everybody got themselves here. Well, not how everybody got themselves here, how a bunch of teams got themselves here to be a part of the RMRs.
Yes. I think that's a cool story. I like the idea that people could do this. I think it's also a little bit inspirational if you're at home, if you're thinking about it, if you're hooked on playing competitive Counter-Strike, then it's cool to see that some people actually do make it through from sort of being relatively unknown and maybe, you know, not just sort of like, not everyone's going to be Monacy who's just picked up and boom, like right into the top of the world. There is another way to do it, and for some of these guys, that could be true.
I think that's probably what Valve are hoping to achieve with this, right? Is that, hey, look, the open qualifiers, literally anybody. And when I say literally anybody, me, Rush, Harry, Hugo, I think Jay was there as our 5th. We signed up and played in the qualifiers online. Like, anybody can sign up and play. Now, if you sign up and you're playing, you don't qualify, you can't play for anybody else, you know? But anybody can play when the majors roll around in those open qualifiers there, whereas otherwise it might seem, you know, that's not the case. You know, there's too many hoops to jump through. You have to be invited. It's the difference here. And we did have a B-Stream update for you going on. Remember, if you want to check that one out, that's K23 taking on Falcons. Also on Dust2, twitch.tv/ESO_CSGOB.
There we go.
It's the URL for all of you playing at home.
Noticing I wasn't invited, Chad, to play that major team.
Well, we already filled the slots. You could have been the coach, but I don't think you could have even joined the server. So you could have coached it in TeamSpeak and just yelled stuff at us.
I'm good at that.
Okay. What type of inspiration would you be offering up?
I think less inspiration, probably more sarcasm. I think I could supply a lot of that. I think I could if that was lacking at any point.
We needed a bit more sarcasm, I felt, in our matches. We got owned on Vertigo.
I could have made fun of that, no problem.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
So that's there. And I think that might... Oof, little flick.
Double orbs against triple scouts. Okay. Well,
he called his bluff, didn't he?
Everything's hitting right now.
Oh, relax. He's had himself a really good game. What a performance against the team that just won EPL Season 16. He's actually doing remarkably well. 16-8, he's had, remember he did that, like you mentioned, the lurk smoke over the B-bomb side. He got the kill on Vegas, he almost got the kill on Dupree. He's had a lot of, you know, outside the kills, just even a lot of good moves. Oh, there's another shot. The snipers are doing all the work.
Yeah, this has been the puggiest round we've had on Dust2 so far, but this is definitely what you can be offered up to. Aiken, scoping towards lower, sees this one coming, and will take down Dupree. That's 10-5 on the half in favor of Vitality here, but Fantasy, they're showing a fight. They're putting up some remarkable rounds. Let's see what else they can get up to after the break. Don't go anywhere.